Hello. Back again. So, basically in February, I was due to do an exhibition. Well, I did an exhibition in as part of the wonderful Limerick Spring Festival of Politics, and what happened was I had it all packed up in the car and everything ready to go on the Saturday morning, and I had it all packed up on Friday night, and then there was a red um, weather warning and advised against driving and everything, so I had to take the train. So all of a sudden, a lot of the stuff that I had, um, I couldn't bring. I could only bring what I could carry. So I went down and I stayed the night and had a suitcase, a suitcase full of stuff, and then I had an artist's case full of paper posters. So I didn't bring what I had intended. So anyway, what I'm doing today is so for every exhibition, I prepare panels of leaflets and small posters and things. And so today, I'm just going to go through the panels of leaflets and small posters that I prepared for the exhibition. So I'm right under the skylight in my attic. So the thing, let's see if we can get one with less glare and Michael D. But anyway, it's a young Michael D there. And then the north, so this is from the early 70s, when all the troubles broke out, Sinn Féin, Kevin Street. And then we have the Communist Party of Ireland, Marxist Leninists, and Don't Vote for the National Traitors. It's kind of class thing. Now, next one. So, I'm going to start up here. And this is from the divorce referendum. And protect the family from the tragedy of divorce and vote no. And all the various different reasons that they had for voting, for promoting a no vote in the divorce referendum. Another thing was quite simple. It just said God said vote no. God says vote no. Again, that's from the divorce referendum. So it's just funny. Well, if you believe God. Now, these are common enough bookmarks, but bookmark your issues. And this is from Catherine Murphy when she was an independent TD. So this is from Breed Smith when she ran under the Socialist Workers' Party banner in Dublin South Central. So I think it's 2002. I think it's 2002. And this constituency, there's one candidate who wants to break the golden circle, that is the Irish ties of Irish politics to big business. And it goes on. Just Breed Smith is fighting for a socialist society where we produce human need and not profit. Such a society will be based on workers' control of the factories and offices, and so on. So, and there's also, needless to say, there's if you wanted to join the SWP. So you can see the way. So actually, it must be 97 because there's no email or anything. Still the PO box. Another bit of history here. Leaflet for Roger Garland, who was the Greens' first TD. And then this is around the time of the Good Friday Agreement. It's after the agreement. There was a Westminster election. I think it was our Assembly. And it's Make Change, Make Peace from Sinn. This is from 1973, I think. No, must be 77. And it's the message from Brendan Corish to the electorate. And you see the candidates down below are Paul Mulhern and Mervyn Taylor. So the Labour Party entered coalition government in 1973, and so on and so on. This is one of my all-time favourites from the 1991 local elections. Jobs for youth, not condoms. Here we are. Support for family, no divorce. love life, no abortion. So Dominic Noonan from the Christian Principles Party. Now we go back a bit beyond, a bit older now. This is from 1922, I think, and it's from Cumann na Saoirse. So after the Civil War, or during the Civil War, whatever, Cumann na Mán split, and Cumann na Saoirse were the party that were the pro-treaty split from Cumann na Mán. So to be on the kind of Fine Gael side of the house. And it shows, it's trying to tell you the advantages of what the treaty does. A police force trained, it rids us of the British Army, a police force trained for political espionage, British control of education and so on, British legislation, British officialdom, British control of our purse, the raising and spending of our own revenue. So this is from 1966, just a flyer for the presidential election. It's just Dev, President of the Nation. Also for Dev, this is from the 1917 East Clare by-election. Oh, here we are, back again. Sorry, the connection went. So this is from the East Clare by-election. Yes, sorry about that. They must all be on Netflix and everything elsewhere in the house. So again, nice bit of history. And it's from the 1927 by-election, a fellow called Thomas Hennessy for Cumann na Gael. If you can, running in the Trinity ward. That's from Labour in the 40s. We took the gun out of politics for 3 years. So it's after the inter-party government, and no coercion acts, no political trials, no political prisoners, no execution. Labour helped achieve this. Vote Labour for peace and prosperity. And again, this is from 1954. It's from Fine Gael and Carlo Kilkenny. And actually, funnily enough, this leaflet appeared on a junior cert or leaving cert paper. So I really I'd made it when one of my leaflets from the site appeared on an state exam paper. But you can see what it's more than just the thing. Yes, the prices, but you also see what the main items of the day, bread, flour, butter, drink, your stout, tea, sugar, cigarettes, petrol, income tax, the main things that were measured for inflation and stuff, and postage and things. So it's quite interesting, and tells you more than just the thing, what's in the picture. The fantastic flyer for the Metal D Higgins gig in Dublin before the presidential election. Metal D Higgins. Now, because the thing was on in Limerick, here's some Limerick people. Jerry McLaughlin, the former rugby international, he was Labour. I think he went independent then. Olaf Taranason, who ran in Dunleary in 1997 as a cannabis legislation party candidate. This is a flyer for a Sinn Féin logo design competition. The prize $500. Mary Jackman, running for Fine Gael in the Limerick East by-election. This is really an odd one here. This is a fellow called John MacDonald, who ran in 1998 Dublin North by-election. It's just really, really weird to see a unionist. So he wants to increase funding for the Gardaí, Ireland to rejoin the Commonwealth, ban on tobacco advertising, and end the dumping of nuclear waste in the Irish Sea, appointment of British Isles drug czar, and so on. It's just so normal stuff. A proper recognition of the 15,000 Dubliners. It was just weird to see a unionist candidate. He didn't poll too well. Take Back the City. This is a thing from 2009 from a chap called Cathal McCarthy, who produced these leaflets, Independent Limerick, kind of a newsletter. Now, so a young Mary Lou from the 2004 European elections. This is from 2011 from a fellow called Joe Dwyer, who had been Sinn Féin. I think he ended up in Ergie or something, but anyway, he ran as an independent, sent home the clowns, Nama. 12 reasons to vote for Dr. Leo Varadkar from 2007. His first general election. The famous Stop the Paedophiles thing from Clifford T. Reid in the 2004 European elections. These posters went up all around the place, and literally went down into student houses very, very quickly because it was just so weird. But, thing. Another Limerick lady, Nora Bennis, who died last year, I think it was, but was kind of the forefront of against anything progressive. Fianna Fáil working for the people of Munster. That is the 1999 European elections. Brian Crowley, Paddy Lane and Jerry Collins. There's a young Donnacha Leary from the 2009 local elections. He's Sinn Féin, he's TD now anyway, and he's Sinn Féin education spokesperson. Another young lady, Mary O'Rourke, and this is from an internal Fianna Fáil election. So Mary there. Tricia Ford Brennan, and that's from the 2011 general election. Oh no, it's from 2007. Because the slogan the Greens used was "We won't let you down." Now more Limerick, local Limerick, in Jim Kemmy. So this was when he was chairman of the Labour Party, and it was a leaflet advertising joining the Labour Party. Another Limerick chap called John Gilligan. I think this is the 2009 local elections, an independent councillor. Simon Coveney from the 2004 European elections, looks quite young there. You couldn't have Limerick without having this fella. You couldn't be in Limerick without having him. And this Steve Christopher McInerney. Maurice Quinlivan from 2007. Couple David Nocton, John Sheehan, Stephen Keary again, Limerick, Tim O'Malley. I think that's the 2007 general election. A bit more historical here in that a leaflet from the 1983 abortion referendum from the anti-amendment campaign. And then from the 1992 amendments on the right to travel, the right to information and the substantive issue, a leaflet from Democratic Left. Now, what's interesting about this is that obviously it's one of the first Democratic Left leaflets, but it's also the picture. The picture is of a mother and daughter, rather than where the pro-life side and others, traditionally, it had been a mother and a baby, where because of the X case, all of a sudden the whole thing, the focus changed. So you had a mother with a teenage daughter, as opposed to, the focus was on the girl who got pregnant, as opposed to the baby. A leaflet from Extinction Rebellion, kind of current. Shatter Star Trek, so there he is. Alan Shatter, dressed as Mr. Spock in the 2011 or 2007 general election. Alan Shatter. It was really weird, those leaflets. He had He had lost his seat in 2002 and did some market research and found that he wasn't popular, or he didn't do very well amongst female voters. So he put out a whole series of weird leaflets in 2007, like, for want of a better word, women's magazines, and got him elected because he kind of it created a bit of attention on him. Working for Limerick, Peter Power, Fianna Fáil, um, the old fake writing, the fake handwritten stuff. Yeah, Jan O'Sullivan, another long-term Limerick politician. John Ryan from the Democratic Left. I think this is from a by-election. I can't remember which one, but there was a Limerick East by-election. Now, more current issues. Border communities against Brexit. That was for a protest there. Gary Gannon with the Social Democrats. Rob Carney from the marriage equality referendum, looking to vote yes. Consent, a poster about consent from Labour Youth. A young Micheál Martin, People for Politics, so that's from 1997, Bat O'Keefe and John Dennehy. This is from the Spring Hill or Summer Hill occupation, which I think was 2 years ago at this stage, in Summer Hill. 2 years, or maybe it was a year ago. Time, but this yoke time is gone. I'm just not sure what time is, but it's one of the focuses of the exhibition of the thing in Limerick was homelessness, so it was interesting to put this together. Electronic voting in 2002. Press the right button and please vote Mary Wallace. So how the electronic voting changed and actually got into slogans and everything. So it was just interesting to see that. Housing is a human right. From one of the homeless demonstrations in Dublin from the National Homeless and Housing Coalition. So the classic 1990, Mary Robinson, President with a Purpose. Who'll keep the pushers from our children? And the answer was, of course, Bertie. That's from 1997. And this is from Let's Build a Nation. So this was from the 1987 general election from Fine Gael. Again, the focus on Garrett. And like a lot done, more to do. They've been in government for 5 years. Now let's build a nation. So we've done the groundwork. Let's build a nation. So a similar theme. This is the famous 1977. Jack Lynch led Fianna Fáil, and the various same old more Gardaí, social welfare benefits to maintain pensioners, and of course the pensions was a big thing in the last election. Housing, grant to first-time purchasers, increase in SDA loans, abolition of clawback, ground rents, abolition, adequate funds for local improvement in communities. And the big thing that was from there, the no more rates. Fianna Fáil will abolish rates. And finally, this thing from the Workers' Party in 1991, and just the fashion. Sylvie Batt, Eamon Gilmore, Colin Brannock, Dennis O'Callaghan, and Marion White. And do you remember 1985? 1985, statues moved in Ballinasbittle, and women wrestled topless in Dunmanway. Barry McGuigan won the world title. Kevin Moran was sent off in the FA Cup final. Madonna married Sean Penn. Bruce Springsteen played in Slane. Rock Hudson died of AIDS. Knock Airport opened. The Rainbow Warrior was sunk. the Titanic was located. Archbishop Lefebvre opened a church in Dunleary, and Charlie Haughey was rescued off Mizzen, and so on and so on. But it's really good leaflet. Anyway, anyway, so that's it for today. That's what I had intended to. The panels I had intended to bring down to Limerick, but couldn't because of the storm. All right, and sorry for the interruptions and all that type of stuff because of the connection issues. Thanks again, and I'll come back with something next week, I suppose. Something else. Needless to say, I've tons and tons more stuff to get through. All right, thanks a million, and mind yourselves.